Alright guys, so we are going to start our ravioli. So these are some of the things that you are going to need. I have a Kitchenaid stand mixer and I have the pasta roller attachment. I like that. And I also have like the old-fashioned one where you can flatten the pasta, and then also the cutter. So I have, let's see if you can see that. Like it makes it really small and then like maybe fettuccine size. So I have that with the crank and then also the handle so that it can get on the side of your countertop. We're gonna do ravioli, so I have this ravioli mold and I have the roller that goes with it. And then I have 2 bowls. And then I also have a ravioli stamp that I got from, let's see, Williams Sonoma. So I got that. And then there's different types of flour that you can use. Today I'm going to use Typo 00 flour. So this is what it looks like in the bag. And I just got this off Amazon, but I put it in here because it matches my pantry. And then you can also use semolina flour that I got. And you can also use all-purpose flour. You don't have to get fancy like me. So what I'm going to do is 2 cups of flour, some eggs, some salt, and some olive oil. So let's get that together. So after you add the egg mixture into the flour, you're going to want to slowly incorporate the flour into the mixture to kind of make your dough. As you can see here, I'm like getting a little bit of the sides. Some professionals who make this dough all the time just go ahead and make it on their mat or on their countertop. I'm not that good, so I just use a bowl to kind of help contain the egg and not make a big mess everywhere. So once it's all mixed together, you're just going to want to dump it out onto your mat or your countertop and then slowly knead the rest of the dough together to kind of incorporate it more. Mine is still a little bit sticky right here, that's why I keep sticking to my hands. But you just keep working with it, and if you need to, you just add whatever flour you used in the beginning. Just keep adding it until it becomes the right consistency. And then we will wrap it up in some saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator for about an hour or so. So this is what we're going to use for our filling for our ravioli. We have ricotta cheese and we have baby spinach. So over here I am heating up my olive oil and I'm going to throw my spinach in there, let that cook down, and then I'm going to let it cool off, and then I'm going to mix it with my ricotta cheese. And I might add Parmesan cheese if I have some. If I don't, it's okay. So we'll see how that goes. So I only used 1 bag of spinach for this recipe. I didn't really do a lot. I meant to freeze some afterwards, but once I finished this and I finished filming it, I was so tired I didn't make any more. So what you see is what all I did for this recipe. But I normally will make a big batch of ravioli and I'll lay it out on a baking dish. I'll lay it out on a baking dish and then I will freeze it and then put them in little baggies and put them in the freezer, so that, you know, if we want another meal another day, I don't have to do all of this. So this is a lot to do at one time. So I did have Parmesan cheese in my refrigerator, so I just added that to it. I used a half a cup of the ricotta cheese and then 1 bag of spinach, and this is what I get. I didn't measure the Parmesan cheese, but just as much as you feel. So in this pot, I'm gonna make my red sauce. So I just chopped up some onions and added some garlic and let that cook down for a little bit. And then I'm going to add a can of tomatoes. I really wanted to use the tomatoes from my garden, but they were not ripe. So I just had a can of diced tomatoes. So I just added that. I'm going to add in some tomato paste. And I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. You know, season with salt and pepper, however you feel. There's no right or wrong to your cooking as long as it tastes good to you. That's all that matters. Okay, so I have my sauce going. Gonna let that simmer while I make my ravioli. And I have my setup for how I make my ravioli. So I have a baking sheet with wax paper. I have my ravioli maker. I have my ravioli pin. I have some extra flour, whatever flour I used in the beginning, that's what I'm using now. I have a pasta tree, I guess that's what it's called. It's pretty cool. I have my baking mat, and I have this because I've never used this, so I'm going to try this today. And I have my filling. I had it wrapped up in the refrigerator. And over here, I have my Kitchenaid stand mixer with my ravioli attachment. So I'm going to start this. They have numbers on the side. I'm going to start this at 0 or 1. See the different numbers? I don't know if you guys can see that, but it brings the pins in to make it thinner. So I'm going to start with the thickest, which is 1. And we're going to get the dough out the refrigerator, and I'm going to show you how I use this. So now I'm going to get the dough that I just cut and I'm going to put it in my ravioli maker. For my Kitchenaid mixer, I only do the first notch so that it doesn't go too fast. And I start with number 1 and I flatten it, and I do that a couple of times. And then I'll fold it, the dough, and then I'll do that a couple more times. And then I'll change the notch to the next one so it gets thinner and thinner and wider, so that it can go over my ravioli maker or my ravioli press. I don't know what you call it. Ravioli mold. we'll go with the ravioli mold. So I'll add that to my ravioli mold, and you'll see in a few minutes what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna run my dough through the machine probably twice on each setting until it gets to the width and the length that I need for my pasta mold. And then I'll set it on my tree so that I can work the other pieces. So once I'm finished rolling out my pasta dough, I'm going to go to my pasta mold and I'm gonna flour it so that once I flip them over, they will not stick to the mold. So I'm going to get my first piece and I'm going to put it on my mold, and then I'm going to fill it. And then I'm going to use an egg wash in the middle of my ravioli to like separate them. But the egg wash is going to be used to seal them so that once I use my rolling pin on it, like it kind of gives it a really good seal. So I'll layer it once I finish filling them. That's my egg wash, just layering the edges and the middles of my ravioli. I get the second piece, put that on top, and I get a little ghetto here, guys. It wasn't quite wide enough on this side, so I just took a little bit and I just added in it. It's okay. It all tasted delicious at the end. So I'm gonna start in the middle just so that I don't have any air pockets, but I'm just gonna roll it because on the ravioli mold there are little spikes, and you kind of want to roll the dough on top of those spikes so that they come apart easily. Alright, so I'm going to use my Williams-Sonoma pasta stamp that I got the other day. I've never used this before, but I figure it's like the same thing. You use your pasta dough, you add your filling, you use your egg wash, and you stamp it. So let's see how that goes. Okay, let's make our sauce. So while this is finishing up, I do have a pot of water that's boiling. So I'm going to use my immersion blender to kind of blend this all together. You can make it as smooth, as thick, as chunky as you want. It depends on your preference. So I added a little chicken stock because it wasn't really blending.
I know I'm acting stupid, but being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish. But I feel so young. Drunk, I've never seen you clearer than now. We're flying high, floating somewhere up in the clouds. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real. Cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning. So take me on a trip, trip, trip. Now trip, trip, trip. Oh, flick that switch, kill the lights. Oh, wasted. City lights are shining so bright. All these empty faces, we don't care about them tonight. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real. Cause when we're doing our thing, we're the wheels that won't stop turning. I know we're acting stupid, we're being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish. But I feel so young, just go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're dumb, it's the only way we know how to do it. You make me feel so young. Oh, 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 oh.
Okay guys, so this is just about it. This is what the final product looks like. It was so delicious. Thank you for watching. New videos are every Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe to my Instagram channel at simply_Ricky. Thank you.